Hi, we've been working very hard on the narrative-driven development approach, and we've been using it with some of our largest clients. We've been developing it with the community, and we've made some significant progress and breakthroughs, both on the narrative-driven development approach itself, as well as the application that we're building. Allow me to show you. So we'll start by creating a capability, and we'll call this the loyalty platform. Then we describe some of the narratives. We can associate these narratives with the relevant capability. Let's focus on this collect points after an in-store purchase. We'll open that narrative up and we'll start to define things. We're going to say that there's an actor. Her name is Chloe, the customer, and we'll say that she sees the points in her mobile application. That's the final moment where collect point after an in-store purchase occurs. We'll now start with the first moment. We'll say that she enters the store. So the next thing she does is picks an item from the shelf. She goes to the checkout, give ourselves a little space, and Al, the assistant, scans Chloe's loyalty and he asks if she would like to spend her points or would rather collect them. Chloe chooses to keep her points. We continue to flesh out this narrative piece by piece. We're working forwards from the outcome that we'd like to achieve. We're telling the story as we would any other story that we'd tell a friend of ours. Al will charge Chloe's credit card. What we expect to happen is that the system processes the payment and Chloe receives points based on her purchase. After that, she can go to her mobile application and she can see the points that she received. This context lane is about what happens inside this narrative. The next thing we do is start to place the interfaces that the different actors would use. So here we have Chloe enters the store. She picks an item off the shelf. She goes to the checkout store. Well, Al scans Chloe's loyalty barcode. There is an interface here that has some interaction, and that's what this is about. This is the interaction lane. How do the interactions happen to allow these moments to occur? Al, the assistant, asks Chloe if she would like to spend her points or would rather collect them. We assume then at this point that there's a points screen where the balance is shown. Chloe chooses to keep her points. There is an interface where the credit card is charged. We'll say that Al requests a payment from the customer. She pays using contactless payment. The system processes the payment. Chloe receives the points in her purchase, and then she sees them in her mobile application. This is using the mobile app. So we've created the interfaces for this narrative. We have the context lane that explains moment by moment what happens. We modified that as we started to think about the interfaces involved. The next thing we do is get into the system lane. Here, Chloe enters the store, no systems involved. She picks up an item, she goes to the checkout store. When Al scans Chloe's loyalty barcode, that needs to go off and find the customer details. This would be fetch account details for customer, which would have been read from the barcode. So that interaction happened this way. Once we fetch the data, we can display it up here on the points balance screen. Then Al asks if she would like to spend her points or keep them. She chooses to keep the points. She pays using contactless payment. And at this point here, there's a process payment action. So let's just call that process payment. It's on the same frame as this moment, so I'll remove that. Chloe receives points on her purchase. Let's open up this action and state what happens. So the first thing is we're going to be using an external system. Stripe handles the payment. Then we move on to a set of business rule over here, call that award points. And since we want to have quite a few different rules on this, we're going to put some points economy rules. We'll open up these rules, put a placeholder for a future conversation. We want to say here that it's for silver members, give 10 points per dollar spent, and gold members give 20 points per dollar spent. And we'll come back to this later. Once that happens, the points are awarded. We'll notify the customer of the points increase. And so we can fold that up and continue. This process payment will lead to those points appearing in the app. We've separated the business context from the interaction from the system. This allows us to create almost like a blueprint. Let's also say I want to take some screenshots of our application and I want to put them onto the points balance screen right there. I can now see wireframes in situ and I can add some specifications to them. We'll say that it should show the balance. It should show the amount available to spend. And these are points for conversation to have as we go further into the development. So once we're done with this, we can fold this up and then we can move on to another narrative. It doesn't stop there. We have other features for GraphQL. We're able to specify the queries. This here might be the points query, and I will be able to open a code editor, account, point, name, and we do have plans to hook this directly into your GraphQL services. Similarly, if we want to create a means for us to fetch data, so let me go ahead and put this over here. as an action, I'll add a little frame, move this here, and we will say that this is fetching points. And we'll open this guy up and we'll say that this is a resolver which has its own schema. So we can say this is the loyalty account resolver, and we'll click on that guy and start to define the schema. And so there you have it. This is the progress we've made so far. We've got to a point where we can understand that we have capabilities that have narratives that have a sequence of time where moment by moment we explain what happens from a business context point of view. And we go ahead and overlay the interaction lane, being able to spread our screenshots and our specs and our queries that we would need. We get into the system lane where we define how the systems under the hood work. We can expand those and go into a deeper level of what the technical concerns are. By the end of it, people understand exactly what their role is. And once we all complete our work and this narrative is complete, we achieve a valuable outcome of collecting points after an in-store purchase. Thank you for watching. If you're interested in our journey and being a part of that, please come and join the NDD community by going to narrativedriven.org and also to sign up to the app at narrative.tech. Until next time.